Fam, I know a lot of you guys are joining the Navy, you're joining the military like I did. You know, right after high school, no money in your bank account, hardly any life experience. You got a huge journey ahead of you, man.
Trap in the scrub since day one. Scrub another toilet till the pay come.
Now you guys know me, man. This isn't some baby back bullshit, you know, BS video. I didn't start with a small loan of $1 million. I didn't read a million freaking books on my mahogany bookshelf. I started just like a lot of you guys, $0 hairs, went in at 18, and I want to tell you guys, you know, how you can build your wealth, how you can get that dream car and dream motorcycle, and set yourself up after the military and for years and years to come. So we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk. Let's go.
I love you, Papa. Papa is a good boy.
The first thing I want to touch on is how you can get that car and motorcycle. You know, how you can get the things that you want when you're a junior sailor, when you're 18, when you're 19, when you're 20. How do you go about getting these possessions, building up your wealth, saving money, building up your credit? Let's assume you don't have that much money in the bank, you're joining right after high school, and you don't have any credit. The first thing you need to do, if you're not part of USAA or Navy Federal, I highly recommend joining those banks because you're gonna be able to get a credit card from them. You're gonna be able to get a secured credit card that's gonna have a small limit at first, maybe $250, $500. But with that credit card, you're gonna start being able to build up your credit. You're not gonna be able to get a car loan, you're not gonna be able to get a motorcycle loan if you don't have any credit history. The banks aren't gonna give you shit. If you don't wanna take out a loan or build up your credit, yes, you can pay a huge lump sum, you can save up a bunch of cash, you know, on a couple deployments your first 2-3 years in the military, and then drop 20, 25, 30K, 15K, 10K on a used car, however much you wanna spend. You can drop all that cash and just pay it outright. That is a possibility. But if you don't want to wait 3 years, if you don't want to wait 4 years, you have to build up your credit. So I'm going to tell you the steps that I did. You know, 18, 19-year-old JT, I got a credit card through Navy Federal, started paying off my groceries, started paying off my gas, paid every bill off at the end of the month. I never carried a balance. So after I'd been in 2 years and had gone on my first 8-month deployment, I had saved up a nice little nest egg. So I got my first car. I was able to put a nice little down payment on the car, and then I was able to get a loan. I was able to get an approved loan through Navy Federal. My interest rate was a little high because I was a first-time buyer. So guys, don't expect to get a really, really good interest rate if it's your first car loan. You know, hopefully you get something under 10%. So that's how I got my first car. It was just a little freaking Hyundai Accent. Now I paid that car off completely before I went to Japan for my last 2 years in the Navy. It was just sitting at home. But I had a lot of equity in that car. I owned it completely. So once I got back and out of the Navy, I used that car's value, I traded it in for the car that I have now, the Genesis Coupe. I used that as the down payment. I got a really good interest rate on the Jenny Coupe, like 2-3%, and I almost have that car paid off. A really good thing about being in the military, being in the Navy, whatever branch you're in, you know how much money you're gonna make every single month. You know that you're gonna get that paycheck on the 1st and 15th. You can plan out your expenses, you can plan out your finances, you can plan out how much you're gonna save, how much you're gonna make for years and years, for months and years down the line. I could freaking talk about this stuff till the cows come home. You know, it has to be up to you guys though, to have that mindset, to want to learn about how to managing your finances. Like you're in the military now, you're an adult now, you have money coming in. You just don't want to freaking blow it. You don't want to walk out of the Navy 4 or 5 years with nothing to stand for it, with nothing to show for it. You know, that'd be freaking embarrassing. Another key thing about saving money in the military and just in general, even as a civilian, you have to know what you like to spend money on. You know, I don't really like to spend money on hardly anything. You know, I don't go out, I don't go party, I don't go do this and that. I like getting tattoos, and I like getting motorcycle parts. I like spending money on my wife. I like getting freaking toys and bones and snacks and cookies for my pit bull and my husky. You know, that's it. I don't spend money on that many frivolous things. The last thing I want to touch on though is getting out of the military. How do you set yourself up for success? A lot of people get scared, a lot of people get worried. I was kind of nervous even though I still had a plan. I still had a nice nest egg that I saved up. I had owned my car. The biggest piece of advice I can give you is try to have multiple streams of income. So when I got out of the Navy, I knew I was gonna be on the GI Bill. So I had E5 BAH rolling in. I knew I was gonna get a job. I worked at the veteran office, I had a part-time job. I started doing YouTube, that was another source of income. I freaking donated plasma for like 6 months after I got out of the military. That's another source of income. I was freaking hustling. I was trying to generate all these different sources of income so you don't have to rely on one thing. If you don't want to go to college like I did and go on the GI Bill, then you have to have a job lined up. If you don't have a job, make sure you at least try to apply for unemployment so you can have a little buffer in between. So to wrap up this video, the most important things that I think you guys should walk away from is learn how to manage your money. Learn how to plan, learn how to budget, learn how to invest. After you do all that, then you can start about investing. Don't dig a freaking hole at the bottom of the river, you know? Don't dig yourself down deep where you can't get out. Set yourself up for success, have that foresight. You're in the military, you have attention to detail. There's a lot of skills and traits that you've probably picked up that you don't know you can do. So all the poppies, thank you so much for everyone that's supporting this channel and everybody that's going off to boot camp.
Well, I'm squared away sailor, loves to go get trashed, and if I'm really lucky they'll send me to captain's mast.